Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Save to Bloom podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle Bailey, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Now I'm getting a hoarse, 3 seconds in, unacceptable. Anywho, I'm so glad that you all are here with me for another episode. I did not do an episode last week because your girl was tired. We're going to talk about it because it's part of what we're talking about today. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes life's real bad and it tries to sucker punch you, but we got to get back up and get right back into it because God has a plan for everything. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just like, I'm just gonna take this break. I'm gonna take this time off because I was just feeling so overwhelmed by all of the things that God has been, this healing process and this healing journey that God has been bringing me through. I can't talk about it until it's done, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of just makes it like hard. First off, can we just acknowledge these wings, not, like arm wings, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fly away in the glory. God told me to put this on, so I put this on. I feel like I'm giving rich auntie grandma situation. And you know what? It's the rich vibes that were, it's coming together. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like I'm feeling on the inside. Like you know what I'm saying? Anywho, oh, I forgot what I was saying. I was just feeling so overwhelmed with this healing process that God has been bringing me through because it has not been easy at all. Nothing about this process has been easy and it's so challenging. I can say at least this much. It is so challenging dealing with something from your past because like it happened back then, but the emotions of it still feel relevant today. And especially if it relates to like trauma in any capacity, it's hard because your body is like remembering what happened and all that stuff. And it's like taking you to like a place basically. And so you have to like navigate all of the emotions that you're feeling that are like past emotions. And you have to navigate like where you're at and what's going on with your life and what you're currently doing. And if you're someone like me, you're futuristic minded, so you're also preparing for the future. Just, where am I? What day is it today? You know what I'm saying? What year am I presently in right now? Because I feel like I'm just floating in like a time warp. And I feel like, what is it? Not Doctor Strange. Child, what's that man's name? Doctor Who? Doctor, who am I? Doctor, what is going on? You know, what year did I just land in? What planet am I on? You know, sometimes it just feels like a whole lot. And so trying to navigate all the things and heal and just it's been a lot, remembering stuff, trying not to forget stuff, trying to be present, trying to be active, trying to pray for the things and do the things and all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't got it. I just don't. I just didn't want to. But here's the thing. There's not necessarily anything wrong with feeling like, bro, I don't got it. You know what I'm saying? We have those moments, we have those times. The problem wasn't in the feeling of I don't have anything. The problem was that I wasn't leaning into God in that moment. And thankfully he, I won't say gathered and like yoked me up, but like he was kind of like, okay, let's reel this back in, because what could have easily happened is I decided that I was going to lean into the I feel tired and just kind of pause. But that could have easily turned into, okay, now I'm just not doing things anymore. Because my language was starting to change from I'm frustrated, but God's gonna work it out, to I'm just frustrated. And I don't know. I just don't know. And he had to really bring me back into a place and just kind of remind me of who I am, remind me of who he is and what he's doing in my life. Because when we're dealing with a season, a time, or whatever, a moment of healing and processing from things, whether it's something that you're presently dealing with, whether it's something that's an old thing that you're dealing with, or just a combination of the two, like it's just so much that we just have to manage and so much that we have to control. And we can just get so like enveloped in the feelings of what we have going on that we're trying to like problem solve and do all the things. And like we really have to lean into God, because there's a reason why he's allowing certain things to come up in the way that they are coming up. The things that I'm experiencing, the things that God is allowing me to remember and to process and to deal with and all that stuff serves a purpose. It serves a purpose. I think I shared this here. I don't know. Quick side note, this is episode number 25. I've done 25 of these. How? I don't know, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we're here. Yeah, I actually lost my train of thought. It's so bad. We got there. I think I mentioned this on one of these episodes. I feel like I did. I don't know. I think I did, babes. I think so. But I was diagnosed with PTSD. So the memory is not that great. It's not that great. That's what PTSD does. It takes your memory of stuff, good and bad. It can take the memories away. Your body just kind of forgets, and it can be until something triggers it, again, good or bad, that allows the memories to come up. And that's just where I'm at right now. And it's been a lot, having all this stuff come up, but it has served a purpose, because even in the things that have come up, I've been able to like gain something and understand something about myself. Like, it is someone dribbling a basketball at night. I'm recording. Gosh. Because what are we doing? Be quiet. Yeah, just trying to just navigate and deal with all of this stuff. It's just a lot, because you're trying to really just focus and be attentive and like respect your body in the process that you're going through. But like, I don't, it's just a whole lot of, I don't even really know the words to explain like what this process has felt like, because there's just so many different parts to it. Like, you're really just trying to give yourself space to heal whatever your healing journey and whatever your healing process looks like, whether it's confronting old things again or dealing with current stuff. You have to like give yourself space to deal with and process all the things that you're dealing with and processing. Like, you got to deal with the reality of what you're dealing with. You have to deal with the emotions of what you're feeling. You have to continue to trust God and to lean into him, and understanding that he's going to take you where you're supposed to go, and he's going to do what needs to get done, and you just have to trust him. But it's like so many different compartments that you're trying to all navigate at one time, and it can be so hard. But like, God is really going to allow you to be able to do everything that you need to do and like help you through that process, because he understands. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I got back that during basketball threw me off. Are y'all praying? But just trying to, trying to be present is hard, but it's something that you can do because God is allowing you to go through that process. He is allowing you to experience these things. He's allowing you to unpack these things. And I'm not talking about, again, I feel like I say this because sometimes, everybody's in a different walk, right? There's some things that God allows us to go through. There's some things that the enemy has legal access to do. And then there's some things that we might foolishly have allowed, to happen in our lives. I'm talking about the things that God is allowing to take place in our lives. And even this stuff, I say it about 1,000 times and I'll say it 8 billion times more. All things work together for our good. Now, something is just going to be, it is what it is. If you make a really wrong decision and it is what it is, it is what it is. But, he can work everything out for our good. If he chooses to, he going to work everything out for our good. But what you are experiencing, he's allowing those things to come up. He's allowing you to feel those emotions. He's allowing you to feel all of these things and go through all this stuff because he's trying to bring you to a place. He's trying to do something inside of you. He's not just letting it happen because he's just like, well, I feel like I think this needs to come up so she can deal with it because at some point he's like that intentional with our lives and with, every step of every facet of our life, that he understands that this is so necessary to deal with at this point in time in this way because of where I'm taking you, because of where I'm putting you, because of what's coming next. You're going to have to be able to deal with all of this stuff now and deal with it in this capacity because it's not going to come up any other way. If I'm just sitting in my bed and God's like, there's been some traumatic things that you've been through, let's discuss it. And then I'm like, okay, but give me like 5 minutes. I just need to settle before we discuss this real quick, before we dive into this. Give me a little bit of time. And then, yes, we can absolutely go into this. And then it's like we go through a whole agenda and I'm checking off what I would like. That's not how it works. It would be nice if I could look at the agenda and know what's going on and what's coming next and how, but there's just certain things that it's not going to happen. It's got to come out the way that it comes up. Some things might have to come from being triggered. Some things might have to come from you just experiencing something that is bringing something up that you didn't even realize was there. Like it might come from someone else seeing something inside of you and speaking into that or calling it to the forefront so it can be. There's so many different ways that God is going to allow different things to happen that he allows to happen, but we have to allow him to do it. We have to take our hands off of it and say, you know what, God, you're trying to bring me through a process. You're trying to do this thing in my life and I can't get in the way and not allow you to do what needs to be done because I don't like this. I can't sit here and just lay down and decide that I'm not going to get up, that I'm going to stay on the ground, that I'm going to surrender and submit to the pain that I'm experiencing and the trauma that I am going through and the thoughts that I'm dealing with. And then I'm just going to lay here and that's just going to be what it is because I don't want to confront and deal with the things that you are trying to lead me to. If God is leading you to a place and he's doing that for a reason, he's doing that so that he can pull up, bring out, put forth everything that he needs to in the timing that he needs to do it. Like he's so intentional about everything. And I'm going to talk about this in the Safe to Bloom community, but I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. But I was reading in Exodus, and I don't remember which chapter it was, but with Moses, God intentionally brought them a different way, a different route outside of the main route to leave Egypt, because he knew that if he did things a certain way, that the folks would go back. He knows his people so well. He knows you so well. He knows what certain thing that's going to happen that's going to make you walk away, that's going to make you forfeit what you got, that's going to make you forget who you are. He knows what certain things are going to cause certain reactions. Or he might know that if this happens, you might just lay down and just decide that you're just going to surrender and stop right here because it's not anything that you think that you can handle. He knows you better than you know yourself. So when he allows certain things to happen, it's because he's already thought about this step. He's already realized if I bring them this way, they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to show up in this capacity. They're going to learn this thing. They're going to say that thing. They're going to step outside of my will if I don't do this a specific way. And while he understands that you may not like it, you may not want to go that way, he is going to allow it to be that way simply so that you can stay rooted and grounded in his will, so that you can stay in alignment with the Father and not trying to do your own thing and become Lord over your life, become God over your life, and decide what you will and won't do and when you can and cannot do it. Because we don't have that level of understanding to know this is okay, this is not okay, this should be done, this should not be done. Like we have biblical knowledge and biblical understanding and all that stuff, but there's just some things that we just actually don't know. We don't actually have the full knowledge of things because we understand in part, we know in part, we prophesy in part. So we know some things, but we don't know the full extent of things. So he's just not going to reveal everything to us. So we have to continue to trust God and lean into what he's saying and lean into what he's doing and understanding that he is going to take us exactly where we need to go. He's not going to leave us astray. He's not going to put you to a place that's going to kill you. It might kill your flesh. That's going to have to get up out of here. Because it shouldn't be alive anyways. Why is the zombie talking to me? Why are you speaking to me? Go back to being dead. We don't got nothing to conversate about. But your spirit should be revived. Your spirit should be enlightened. Your spirit should be grown. Like you should be growing and growing and increasing and increasing. We shouldn't stay stagnant and stay at the same place just because it's comfortable and we don't want to deal with old stuff. You can't take that stuff with you to where you're supposed to go. It's never supposed to be there to begin with. He's going to do what he has to do and bring you through that process. And whatever needs to get done, he's going to do whatever needs to get done. And we don't always understand it, but it shouldn't cause us to just lay down and just decide that the pressure that I'm feeling in this thing that I am, that God is bringing me through and that he's allowing to come up, or whatever your season looks like. We shouldn't decide that whatever we are experiencing, we get to just lay down and just give up and not move forward with it anymore. Like we have a responsibility to do the will of the Father. We have a responsibility to allow God to do whatever it is that he's trying to do in our lives. And I understand that it can be frustrating. I understand that it can be overwhelming. Trust me, as I started this off saying, I was like, I'm taking a break. And that break was honestly, it was going to turn out to be much longer because I was just feeling tired and I was feeling a way about the things. But again, God had to remind me that he knows everything that is needed and necessary for my life. And I have to lean into him. I can't lean into my own understanding. I can't lean into the fact that what I'm experiencing is hard. And hear me, this doesn't take away the fact that it is hard. Because even in the midst of me being like, God, this is dumb, this is stupid, I don't understand. Why am I going through this? I'm frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I can't breathe, I'm struggling, I'm whatever. Insert feeling, insert emotion. God was still validating the fact that, yes, it is hard. And sometimes we act like, or we can think that God is just going to be like, just move past it, just do the work, hurry up and heal and let's move on. But like he wants you to be able to express what you're feeling. If we couldn't do that, if he didn't want us to do that, then he wouldn't have placed feelings inside of us. He wouldn't have given us an ability to feel and to have emotions if they were so invalid and so unnecessary. So you have the right to feel how you feel. Your feelings are valid. If somebody hurts you, you can feel hurt. You can feel sad. You can feel the pain of what you experience. The thing is, though, we can feel that and we can process and like uncover how we feel and unpack those emotions and unpack all of that stuff. But we can't settle there. We can't decide that in the midst of all that I'm going through, I'm just going to drop my stuff here and I'm just going to set up camp at this spot because I feel sad. And so now sad is going to be my permanent or most prominent emotion that I'm feeling, when like we have someone walking with us on this journey. You know what I'm saying? Like we can act like we're alone and like we're the only person who's here. We're the only one who's actively with us, but like God is really with us throughout this whole thing. So let him speak to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like going on a trip, going on a vacation, and you're going to different places and you're like, I don't know where to go. I'm confused. I'm so alone. Oh my gosh, I don't know, and then you have your moments of fun or whatever. But meanwhile, there's literally someone right next to you the entire time, babes. Like, not only are they standing next to you, but they literally have the map. Like, you're saying, I don't know where to go. And they're like trying to tap you like, hey, like if we take a left, whatever your left is, if we take this left, then we can go where we need to go and we gonna get to where we need to get. But you too busy trying to scream and be upset. And then when the person is trying to tell you like, hey, feel like, you finally acknowledge their existence and like, yeah, feel how you feel. I get it. But like, we can't stay here for too long because there's a train coming and we got to catch this train so we can get to that next town, so we can get out of here and get to where we need to get. And you want to be upset. You want to cry and just settle here. You got to get back up. You can be sad because the process of getting from where you're at to the train has been daunting and exhausting and all these other things, but you can't just decide that you're going to now become a villager in Peru because you were too exhausted emotionally and tired and physically and all these things to get back up and go back to the US of A. You can't do that. You have responsibilities. You have things that you have to do. You have people that you are responsible for. You can't just decide that I'm going to be with these Peruvian folk. Okay? What you eat, I eat. What you speak, I speak. You can't do that. We are responsible for making sure that we continue with God and that we go with God and let him in our process. And it can be so easy to push him away because of, the things that we've experienced and the different stuff on the past, especially when like you're confronting something old or something familiar. Your initial response might be to want to continue to show up the way that you have in the past. Like, this is how I usually responded to something, so this is how I want to respond to it now. But if God is bringing it up, if he's allowing for you to experience it, it is because he wants to change that. He wants to change you from continuing to go in this motion, in this path that you always have, and to be able to pick yourself up, or to lean into the Father to pick you up and to get you back up and get to where you need to go. This season, this time that you are in, the things that you are experiencing, whatever you're going through, it's not for nothing. God knows exactly what he is doing, and he is intentional because he loves you. He loves you enough to not let you go on that main route so that you go back to that filth that you just came out of, for you to go back to that lifestyle that was breaking you and killing you and destroying you. He loves you too much to push you into destiny and to push you to be the person, the woman, the son, the mother, the daughter, the father, whatever you are supposed to be. He loves you enough to push you into that so that you can excel and be great and be everything that God has called you to be, because he wants you to spend eternity with him. He wants you to live a life that glorifies him. He wants you to live life with him. This life is gonna be perfect. We're gonna have stuff going on, things we gotta deal with. Like, it's just what it is, honey. It is what it is. But it can be better, and it can be good, and it can be with God instead of how it's been before we knew him. I don't care if your mother and your father was saved since thy kingdom come and you came out the womb speaking in tongues. We still got different stuff we've got going on that we have to deal with that we get to go through it with God. So allow him in this space and don't give up. Keep trying, keep putting your time in, keep allowing yourself to feel with God and to give those emotions to God so he can take it and deal with it and do what needs to be done. Do your part, and God's always gonna pull up out you and do your part. And that's on period. Hey, stay up. And that's on Holy Ghost. That's my time for us today. I love y'all so much. I really, really do. I'm so glad that we are still here and that your girl didn't lean into those feelings too much so that we wouldn't, not see y'all ever again. Because I love doing this. I do. I be saying the things and doing the things, so why not talk to someone other than myself, or just, whoever I happen to be talking to about the things? Why not share what God has placed on my heart, my mind, and my experiences and things like that to help you all to heal. I'm not perfect. I'm going through my own life's journey, my own stuff that I've got going on, but I truly have a heart to see people healed and free and delivered and just broken out of that shell of a person that they've been because of just the horrible, not great, bad things that they've been through, and just becoming everything that God has called them to be, because God is just so good. And sometimes as humans, we might have moments when we're like calling out and like, who are you, God, and trying to figure out who he is and all this other stuff. And life is a journey, right? But he's consistent, and he's consistently been good. He's consistently been a father. He's consistently been everything that we need. And so as you continue to learn and grow and heal, just let God do what needs to be done inside of you. I'm about to end this because folks is being foolish and I don't have time. We're not dealing with distractions. We're going to do what we need to do. This is my assignment, and I'm so glad that I get to do it and that y'all are part of this with me. I love y'all. I will see y'all next time. As always, take care of yourself. Do the things. Love yourself. Show up. Don't settle. Get back up. Get back up. Get back in it. And do it with God. Allow him to do it with you. I'll see y'all. Bye.